diving into AI that can create video games,
Oh, wow.
not just play them. It's actually generating the world of Doom in real time,
Yeah.
like on the fly.
Really?
No hard-coded rules. It's insane.
Yeah.
Just pure learning. It's blowing my mind.
That is pretty remarkable, I gotta say. This GameNGen research, it's really pushing the limits of what we thought AI could do.
So it's not just, recreating an old game. This is like a peek into the future, like how we might be making games someday.
Exactly.
I am hooked.
Yeah.
So how does it actually work? Like teaching an AI to play a game, that's one thing. But having it create the whole world in real time,
Right.
that sounds like sci-fi.
It is. It's wild. The training process is actually pretty clever. It's 2 stages. First, they use a reinforcement learning agent, an RL agent. But here's the twist. It's not trained to win. The goal is diversity.
Wait, so hold on. Instead of going for high scores, it's like exploring the game world, kind of like a human would.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They wanted to capture how a real player interacts, making decisions, exploring, trying different things. And that diverse gameplay data, that's the foundation for the second stage.
Okay, so they've got this AI running around learning to play Doom, kind of like we would. What happens next?
That's where the diffusion model comes in. This type of model is super hot right now for generating images and video.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
So imagine you take a picture and add noise to it gradually until it's unrecognizable. A diffusion model learns to reverse that process. It reconstructs the image from the noise.
So they're teaching the AI to basically denoise images.
Yeah.
But how does that make a game world?
Right. Well, in GameNGen, the diffusion model is trained on that gameplay data from the RL agent. It takes the past frames and the actions and predicts what the next frame should look like. It's like it's learning the visual language of Doom.
Instead of pixels, it's working with these things called latent representations, right?
Yes, you got it.
I gotta admit, that sounds a little intimidatingly technical.
Think of it like compressing a big image into a smaller file. You're capturing the essence of it in a more compact form. Latent representations are kind of like that. They represent the complex visuals of the game, but in a way that the AI can handle easily.
Okay, that makes more sense. So it's learning to predict the next frame of the game from what's come before.
Right.
But wouldn't that lead to a ton of errors? Like if he gets one frame a little wrong, wouldn't the next one be even more wrong? And so on.
You're spot on. That's a challenge called auto-regressive drift. It's a big problem in this kind of AI. It's like making a copy of a copy.
Yeah.
Each time you introduce little errors and eventually it's a mess.
Okay, so how do they solve that? Did they find some magic formula?
It's clever. It's called noise augmentation. Imagine training the AI with blurry glasses.
Okay.
By adding noise to the data, they force it to learn how to correct for imperfections. And the result is that the simulation is super stable. It can make long sequences of frames without the errors getting out of control.
Wow, that's pretty ingenious. So they're making it robust to errors by adding errors during training. But let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah.
How good is this AI at actually playing Doom?
Yeah.
Can it fool a human player?
The results are pretty amazing. In single frame prediction tests, the quality is basically the same as if you used lossy JPEG compression.
Oh, wow.
But even more impressive are the blind tests. They showed shorts each to people. Some were real Doom footage and others were from GameNGen.
Don't leave me hanging. How did it do?
The humans could only tell the difference slightly better than chance. So for short sequences, the AI is basically nailing the look and feel of real Doom gameplay.
No way. I'm actually stunned. Are there any examples from those tests that stand out? Like moments that even you were surprised by?
Definitely. One clip that comes to mind is the AI navigating this tight corridor. It suddenly runs into an enemy.
Oh.
The way it dodged, aimed, and fired, it was so fluid, so natural, it looked exactly like a skilled human player.
Okay, you've convinced me. This is seriously impressive stuff. But is it perfect? Can we ditch our gaming PCs and let the AI take over?
Not quite. While the single frame and short sequence generation is fantastic, there are limits. When you let the AI generate longer sequences on its own, those little differences, they start to add up. Eventually, it drifts away from the original Doom.
So it's not flawless. But even with that drift, how does the content compare to the real deal?
Visually, it's still quite similar. They measured this using something called the Freshet Video Distance, or FVD score. And even though the score increases over time, showing that it's diverging, the content still matches up pretty well.
So it's not just copying the visuals, it's capturing the gameplay itself.
Exactly. It's about learning the rules of the game world, not just mimicking pixels. And this is a key point. What makes GameNGen different?
Okay, I'm all ears. What sets this apart from how games are usually made?
Well, traditional game engines, they're built on these hard-coded rules and algorithms. Every action, every interaction is carefully programmed by developers. GameNGen throws all that out the window.
So instead of defining everything with code, the AI is learning the rules on its own.
That's
Yeah.
wild. Exactly. It finds patterns in the data and builds a model of the world based on those patterns, not on instructions. This is huge. It changes how we think about making games.
Wow. Okay, I'm starting to see why this is such a big deal.
Yeah.
But we were talking about limitations earlier, like the short memory capacity, 3 seconds of gameplay context. That seems incredibly limited. Is that just where the tech is at now, or is that a fundamental problem?
It's more about the architecture and the computing power they have right now. Getting these results with just 64 frames of context is a huge achievement.
Yeah.
Scaling it up would take way more processing power. The researchers know this is a big area for improvement. They say we need new ways to represent memory and time in these AI models.
So it's not just about giving it more data, but finding better ways for it to store and use those memories.
Exactly. It's about moving beyond memorization to a deeper understanding of the data.
Which makes me think about those times when the RL agent's actions seemed a little off to a human observer. Could that be because of the limited memory? Maybe it doesn't have enough context to make a truly human-like decision in those situations.
That's a really interesting point, and it's something they're looking into. The agent is amazing, but it's clear that it still doesn't fully understand the game. Maybe with a larger memory or a different way of training that focuses on long-term planning, those inconsistencies could be fixed.
Imagine an AI that can not only mimic human actions, but also predict what you'll do next.
Right. Learning and adapting to your style as you play. That would be truly personalized gaming.
Yeah, it would. It's exciting. And GameNGen has definitely brought us closer. We're already seeing this kind of personalization in other areas like music and art. Bringing those ideas to games feels like the next logical step.
Okay, we've been talking about video games for a while, but let's zoom out. Remember that quote from the paper about improving day-to-day interactions with interactive software systems? What does GameNGen mean for things beyond gaming? That's where things get really mind-blowing. Imagine AI that learns how you use your computer or your phone. Instead of static menus, you'd have a system that adapts to you in real time,
Wow.
predicting what you need and giving you the right tools at the right time.
So no more digging through endless menus. The AI becomes like an assistant that understands how you work.
Exactly. Or imagine software that learns from everyone who uses it, constantly evolving and getting better. No more clunky updates or annoying bugs, just a smooth, intuitive experience.
Okay, stop. I'm already sold. Sign me up for the AI-powered future.
But seriously, are there any specific areas outside of gaming where this could have a big impact? I mean, where do we even begin with all these possibilities?
One that immediately comes to mind is education. Imagine personalized learning platforms that adapt to each student. Instead of one-size-fits-all, you have an AI tutor that tailors everything to your learning style and pace. That would be incredible.
Yeah.
It could totally change how we think about education,
Yeah.
making it more engaging and effective for every student. And it's not just about individual learning, right? We could use this to make collaborative environments that boost creativity and problem-solving skills.
Absolutely. The possibilities are endless, and it goes beyond education. Think about healthcare. AI could analyze patient data and create personalized treatment plans considering their medical history, lifestyle, even genetics.
Wow.
It could even create simulations for surgical training, letting surgeons practice complex procedures safely.
That's mind-blowing, AI-powered medicine surgical simulations. It sounds like sci-fi, but GameNGen makes it feel possible. And let's not forget entertainment beyond games, interactive movies or TV shows, where the story changes based on your choices. A truly immersive experience.
Exactly. The line between watching and participating would disappear, creating entirely new forms of storytelling.
And speaking of blurring lines, what about virtual reality?
VR. Probably the most natural fit for this tech. Creating realistic VR environments is a huge challenge. But imagine GameNGen powering those experiences. We could have these complex, detailed virtual worlds that feel alive, responding to everything you do.
Oh man, I can already picture exploring an alien planet or going to a virtual concert that feels like the real thing. Okay, deep breaths, deep breaths. We're getting a little carried away. But seriously, this is why GameNGen is so important. It's not just a cool demo. It's a glimpse into a future where interactive experiences are only limited by our imagination.
I couldn't agree more. And the best part is, this is just the beginning. The researchers behind GameNGen have started something that's going to grow into something truly amazing.
So as we wrap up part 1 of this deep dive, here's a question to think about. If we can create AI that learns and interacts with complex systems like video games, what does that say about intelligence itself? Is it possible that these neural networks are showing us a new kind of intelligence, one that's different from ours but just as incredible? Join us for part 2 as we explore that fascinating question.
Yeah, it really makes you think. We were talking about intelligence being this human thing, but GameNGen shows us that it can exist in other forms, like in these systems built on data and algorithms.
So instead of consciously thinking through a problem, it's more about recognizing patterns and making predictions based on them.
Exactly. It's a different kind of intelligence, driven by data and computation. But the results are pretty amazing, creating realistic gameplay, responding to players, even being creative in a way. It's all stuff we usually associate with human intelligence.
Which leads to a big question. Does it even matter how intelligence happens, as long as it gets the job done? If an AI can solve problems, create art, even design a game, does it need to think the way we do?
That's a debate that's not going away anytime soon. But GameNGen definitely forces us to rethink what intelligence means. We're not the only ones capable of complex thinking and creativity anymore.
It's kind of humbling, but also exciting,
Yeah.
right? We're not alone in this realm of intelligence.
It's a huge shift in perspective, and it goes way beyond video games. If we can create AI this smart in one area, why not others?
Which brings us back to that quote about improving day-to-day interactions with interactive software systems.
Right.
If AI can learn Doom, it can learn anything, right?
The possibilities are mind-boggling. Imagine our phones, our cars, our homes, all powered by AI that knows what we need, learns from us, adapts to us constantly.
It's like a future where the line between human and machine intelligence just disappears.
Yeah, and maybe that's not a bad thing. It could be amazing. If we can create AI that learns, solves problems, and is creative per peer, think of what we could accomplish together.
We could solve huge problems like climate change or disease
Yeah.
and create a future that's better for everyone.
Absolutely. GameNGen shows us what's possible with AI. We're in this era of incredible technological progress. And while there are definitely ethical concerns and risks, the potential benefits are huge. We just have to use this technology responsibly.
So as we wrap up part 2 of our deep dives, let's leave our listeners with this thought. The future of intelligence isn't just one thing. It's a mix of human and artificial minds working together. And the best part, we're just getting started. The possibilities are endless. This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for listening. Welcome back to The Deep Dive. It's crazy to think we started by talking about AI playing Doom, and now we're debating what intelligence even means.
Right. It really shows how much GameNGen is shaking things up. We talked about the tech and the potential, but the philosophical side is just as interesting.
Yeah, we always think of intelligence as this human thing,
Yeah.
reasoning, problem-solving, learning.
Right.
But now we've got this AI doing all that, just in a different way.
Exactly. GameNGen proves that intelligence isn't limited to our brains. It can come from systems built on data and algorithms. They learn by finding patterns and analyzing statistics, processing tons of information to understand it and create something new.
So instead of thinking things through step by step like we do, it's more about recognizing patterns and predicting what comes next.
Yeah, exactly. It's a different type of intelligence. It's driven by data and computation. But the results are similar to what we consider intelligent behavior in humans.
Yeah.
Creating gameplay, reacting to players, even being creative in a way.
So does it really matter how it gets there? As long as the AI can solve problems, make art, design a game, does it matter if it's not thinking exactly like us?
That's the big question, isn't it? And there's no easy answer, but GameNGen definitely makes us rethink our definition of intelligence. We're not the only ones in the game anymore.
Yeah, it's humbling and exciting at the same time.
Right.
Right? We're not the only intelligent beings out there.
Exactly. It's a huge shift, and it goes way beyond just video games. If we can create AI this smart in one domain, why not everywhere?
Which brings us back to that quote about improving day-to-day interactions with interactive software systems.
Yeah,
AI can learn Doom, so it can learn anything, right?
pretty much. The possibilities are endless. Think about it. Our phones, our cars, our homes, all running on AI that anticipates our needs, learns from us, adapts to us constantly.
It's like that line between human and machine intelligence just blurs completely.
Exactly. And that might not be a bad thing. Think of what we could achieve if we work together with these intelligent machines. We could solve huge problems like climate change or diseases, create a better future for everyone.
It's definitely a future worth exploring.
It is GameNGen shows us just how much potential AI has. It's up to us to use it wisely and make sure it benefits humanity.
Absolutely. So to wrap up this deep dive into GameNGen, let's leave our listeners with this. The future of intelligence isn't just one story. It's a combination of human and artificial minds working together, and the journey is just beginning. This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for listening.